Oh,
Push, you know that these are some hardcore, super hardcore Pusha T Clips fans because they were waiting in the cold. It's been snowing all day.
I
They came
appreciate that,
out.
guys. Yeah.
Also, I want to point out and just thank all of you guys for coming because a lot of you RSVP'd immediately as soon as Push tweeted out that invite. I think it got all booked up in like 30 minutes or something like that. Something crazy. Something never seen before.
Dope.
So, now, one thing I just want to preface. Yes, I work for Hot 97. I also have a blog. It's called missinfo.tv. But me and Push go way back. In
So
fact,
y'all about to get a real candid interview.
exactly. This is that was it got emotional early. Who else loves him? I mean, but yeah.
No, man.
All right, so it's not just you.
Love y'all too, man. It's like a real family vibe in here right
The
now.
whole room loves Pusha T. Wow, thank you for not making me feel left out. I mean, realistically, if we could have, I think we should have played that audio while you were walking out, sort of like intro audio. Everything is Pusha T. Right or wrong, that was the hashtag. That was the infamous moment when Kanye really made it clear how he feels about you. That was an interesting place to be and to witness.
Yeah, I feel really fortunate, you know what I'm saying, to be on good music and to be embraced by Ye musically. I feel like I'm pretty lucky guy to, even have like producers at my disposal like himself.
Multiple, everybody,
him
everybody.
and Pharrell and Chad as well. And I think it's just a testament to the fundamentals of hip hop and what I'm true to, and that's the era that they came up in and what they learned in, and that's what they like to create too. Lyric driven people, guys who write lyrics. We all were raised in that rap era. You know what I'm saying? The glory years, the Rakims, the Kanes, and moving forward, the Bigs and the Jays and so on and so forth. So they know that I try to emulate that as much as possible, and I think that's where they learned. They learned their beat making skills all through that era, through those eras.
Maybe it's something that you guys find like-minded when you work with a lot of these producers, where they believe that you are trying to carry on a certain legacy for the lyrical craft, the same way that they're, like you said, learning from the greats and trying to carry on that craft of production. But, I think there's a difference between somebody like Pharrell and No ID and Kanye and Swizz and everybody who has all the time their schedule is booked up with people who are trying to get beats from them. But they're actually trying to give beats to you because they feel like you're going to do something extra special on that track. Where do you think the best magic happens, like when in that process?
In the way I looked at it, as far as the producers go, you got to think about it. At this time and this point, the super producer was almost extinct. Like all the records that you heard in the clubs, they weren't produced by quote unquote super producers. They were produced by young guys coming up. They even had a disconnect that was like, okay, you got the guys who are doing Fruity Loops and so on and so forth right now versus the guys who are really on the SP and in that era. So it's like I think that the producers, when working with me, they found it as a I guess a time where credibility really kicks in.
Okay.
Like the credibility of song, the credibility of like a body of work. You know what I'm saying? Like the records that are being made and that are being put out at this time, it could come from anybody. And all of those guys that you named, their history is like, their discography is full of just albums.
Right.
And this was like an album time, I felt like, for all of them.
But there's also maybe a difference between them being called in to do a beat for a huge, mega promoted album, maybe with a pop star, maybe a combination of 3 pop stars.
Right.
And they're being asked, can you make a beat that's going to be just like this hit that you had? Whereas for you, what do you come in asking for? When you, let's say when you sit down with even Hudson Mohawk, that'll be an example.
Oh yeah. When I get in the studio with those guys, it's to be honest, I just try to pit everybody against each other.
Ooh.
Like I'll take the hottest joints that Ye gave me, and I'll go to Miami and I'll play them for Pharrell, and I'll jump around the studio like all crazy. Like I'll
isn't this the greatest?
Even if I'm not feeling it, like I'll jump around crazy and just to get reaction out of him and be like, B, you better. I mean, what you gonna do?
Wow.
What are you gonna do? Like that. I mean, in that's serious business. Like. With Swizz is like a super like passionate producer. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? He when he heard some of the records from My Name Is My Name, there's a whole nother attitude. Like I'll come in, he'll play a couple beats, and I'll be like, man, let me play you what my album like. Then he'd be like, oh, that's what they coming with, and then like. He'll start creating something different. He'll start doing something new because now the pressure's on and he sees where the bar is at. And I feel like...
Will he at least admit, though, first, oh yeah, that Pharrell is fire, but I have better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody's trying to outdo each other.
But producers can be super divas. So do they ever just say like, yeah, it's all right, but it's not, let me play you this?
Nah, man, they don't really hate. They don't really hate because that'd be hate. They don't really hate each other, but I can honestly say that there is a true competitive spirit.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to outdo what he did.
Well, tell me about the competitive spirit that happened between The Dream and Kanye when you were working, even before My Name Is My Name was known to be My Name Is My Name, because. Right. I feel like I heard 3 different versions of your, your album before it came out.
And that's true.
And they were all produced primarily by a different producer.
Yeah. When I went in to make it My Name Is My Name, I picked a few albums, and those albums were like, Life After Death, Hard Knock Life Volume 2, Purple Tape. What else? Oh, Mace Harlem World. And I was like, I wanted my album to be super hardcore rap. I wanted it to be super black R&B. Like super. Like I was trying to recreate. Listen, I was in there pulling up records like the Been Around the World remix.
Old Total remix.
Yeah, old Total records.
Yeah.
Foxy and what's my man? Sizzler. Foxy and Sizzler. Like that's how y'all got Wrath the King. You know what I'm saying? And Blocker and all those things. Like I was listening to all these different things. So when I was going in, I went in with Dream, and he's working on a lot of stuff. And I was just like, man, I couldn't really sit around and wait. So I went in with Dream, and we cut all these amazing records. And we go in the studio and we listen to like all the records that Devontae did with Tupac. And we listen to those records, and then we just create. I ended up doing the records. I did Exodus and a few more, and I ended up going to London to play Ye what I had. And man, he was in there. He was like creating clothes, and he like kept us out there for like a week. And all we were doing was just listening to the album. He was like, "Man, this is crazy. This is crazy." But he didn't want me to go he didn't want me to go back home. And I was like, nah, like I gotta go back home and like finish up some stuff. And so I left. I ended up leaving, and he called me. He was like, yo, I need you to really come back out here because I got some new records that I want to show you. And it just started turning, man. The album just started turning. Mind you, at the same time I'm working on my album, Cruel Summer. So Pain is sort of made in Cruel Summertime. But this is all from what I had made with Dream. And he was like, okay, you know what? I got to outdo this. So New God Flow, that was supposed to be on my album. But, I gave it to Cruel Summer as well. Just to, I felt like I wanted that level of heat out at that moment. And it was like a particular, you know what it was? It was a particular Birdman interview. And it made me mad, right? So I wrote the record or whatever, and I was like, it was no telling when my album was really gonna drop. So I was like, nah, this needs to sort of go on that. Like,
you just needed to get the message out.
Let's get it out now, and that's where New God Flow came from.
And I think that the interview that you were talking about that kind of pissed you off was him sort of dismissing good music as a family.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's not something new, that little tug of war, that tension and the back and forth and the sniping and the sublims with you and Cash Money, with you and Baby, with you and Wayne,
whatever.
With you and Drake. It's been an ongoing thing, but
I'm just one big target, right? Everybody just get to shoot at me all day.
Well, to be fair,
yeah,
you were the one that stands up and says your piece, and stands up and says, try your best, take your shots, because you also send out those shots. Yeah. So people have often wondered whether out of the good music family, you're the one that is best equipped to have that battle.
Well, I'm just...
The shooter.
Yeah, I'm definitely. And I'm going to take that title. But the thing about it with me is like, even, okay, I'm part of good music, and good music is like an eclectic bunch, but there's just a personal pride thing that I just have. Like, there's a personal just man, it's like, it's a mentality that I just can't, I just sort of can't let certain things ride. Mm-hmm. So, I sort of feel like I can't let people think for 1 second that, like, I'm a punk or I'm a chump or, it's okay to say certain things, because to me, in my opinion, I just feel like once they get to do things like that, they get to keep pecking at you. And, this is the industry. The industry, they peck and then they smile and they wave, but then they go back and peck some more. You know what I'm saying? They do so much. And it's like, I'm not really rich enough to play that game. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, rich people, like super rich people can, in my opinion, can play that game. Like, I'm not. Like, I be outside with y'all. Like, like, I'm outside.
Like a regular person, yep.
Like, I go outside, like, every day. I gotta, like, listen to my homeboys, like, they like, yo, did you hear what dude? I'll be like, oh, you gonna make me go write this now or later? You know what I'm saying? It's like, sometimes I don't want to hear it, but I mean, it's just where I am. And you really can't, like, I can't really neglect where I am. And I gotta feed the people, and I gotta feed, like, my competitive spirit too. And just, like I said, just my pride.
How much of that is also... How much of that do you actually discuss with the people around you? Like, how many verses do you have in the stash that you wrote when you felt that, but then either you cooled off, or maybe somebody came and sat you down and said,
nobody sits me down.
Really? Nobody sits me down. Does anybody egg you on? That's the real question.
Nah, nobody eggs me on. But he makes good ones. He does, though. Like I'm a realist, man, with like rap, man. Like, you know, like, and it's not. I don't ever want it. Like when it cools down, it's because I feel like it's getting cheap. You know what I'm saying? It's like
a gimmick. When you feel like
when
it's
it cools
gimmick.
down, it's like it's getting cheap.
Well, what's
like,
the difference between when it feels real? Like even in your own history, when did you feel like, okay, when you did Exodus or when you did Don't F With Me or when you did Numbers on the Board, a lot of those lyrics got dissected and analyzed and they felt 100% authentic. But at a certain point where you like, this guy responded, I'm not going to respond back.
Yeah, like, you know, sometimes you just, like, as long as it makes a good record, it makes for a good record, then that's when I want to do it. Like, you know, I owe good music the, what am I trying to say? I owe them the respect.
Okay.
I owe them the respect to keep the high level of music over everything. So like when it gets cheap and you get to talking about like, you know, when it's more talk than like rap, and like when you don't have Exodus or when you don't have New God Flow or when you don't have your favorite rapper's a damn live verses. Like when you don't have that, then it gotta chill. You gotta chill because it's not about the music no more.
Do you actually feel like as somebody who has the skills to do that type of lyrical battle, but do it in a really, really skilled way. Like, is there something that's off limits?
No.
Really?
Nothing's off limits.
Okay.
Nothing. Like,
not even sweaters.
No.
Not even sweaters.
Nothing. No, nothing's off limits. But it's like, you know, like I said, it's at the end of the day, I've always wanted people to know that it was just, you know, it was about good records. Like, people don't know, like, Kane and Rakim, like, were beefing. Like, there were bars at each other. My two favorites. And it's like, it wasn't cheapened by, you know, we have so much, like, you know, social media and everything else that, you know, they rap genius your lyrics and, you know, and then they put it on whoever they think it is and so on and so forth. They didn't have that. And when you think about it, I think it made for really great records back then.
Amazing, like...
come on, man.
Amazing
Lyrics of
stuff
Fury,
for
like,
people
all those
to,
things were made off of that.
And I mean, just to, you know, since you brought up a historic example, if we can bring up a current example, the Control verse.
Awesome.
That everybody reacted to.
Awesome. That
people are still reacting to. So, like, even today, Drake finally, you know, kind of responded in his own way on the Future remix. What did you think about that? Is it ever too late? Was it too little?
Nah, I mean, you know, it's...
I want your opinion as a music expert.
No, like, just as a, you know, I actually heard it. I heard it. And, you know, the verse was good. But, I mean, I feel like Kendrick, he went first, man. He jumped out the window. It was a big splash. Like, it's not too much. He got that off.
Oh.
He got it off.
So leave it alone. Yeah,
I mean, unless you're going to do, like, a whole song, whole thingy about it. But I mean, you know, at the same time, I just sort of feel like people sort of went a little bit too far with the Kendrick thing, because I don't think it was like a bad thing. I don't know when you're not ever trying to have the best verse on a song. Like,
you should.
I think that's the rule. I like when I did So Appalled, I was trying to make sure I got off on Hove or Ye or Sahai. Did not care. Like, I got to get off. I got to talk about things that, like, I know I can't say that, you know, I'm a trillion billionaire, so I couldn't say that. And I was trying to find things that, you know, I could say that would resonate with my people and, you know, would resonate with the people that, you know, that it would hit them and hurt them too. Not, you know, not in a battle type of way, but just, like, have the best verse.
You want to hurt feelings. You want to get up there. You want to hurt feelings.
So Appalled wasn't one of those. It was just like having the best verse, and it's like, so, you know, getting back to the Control thing. I never. Okay, cool, bro. Like, cool. Like, you want to do it, like, you know. And I think he was just, like, really raising the bar for hip hop.
Yep.
Then we came with Nostalgia, and I was happy.
And many people feel that Nostalgia was Kendrick's actual best verse of the year that you had, you know.
And that's on what? My Name Is My Name.
I mean, now...
which is the best album of the year. Hip-hop album. I ain't even gonna, I'll say hip-hop album. I don't mind that. Yeah, cool.
But he's still feels very strongly about that.
Man, I know so.
Well, now, we're going to get to the Q&A really quick, but I wanted to first ask you a couple things since you brought up My Name Is My Name.
Right.
I remember during the middle of the summer, I had already heard multiple versions of the album. It had gotten pushed back multiple times.
Right.
And we were all wondering, like, when is this going to come out and where is it a secret? It felt like a secret that a lot of people didn't know how good it was.
Yeah, man.
And I feel like that must have been frustrating for you.
I mean, it was because, I just sort of felt like there were a lot of starting and stopping moments within the album. And, you got to remember this album's been ready for a minute. You know what I'm saying? It's been ready for a minute. We like holding on tight to it. We're like trying not to
let it leak.
Yeah. We're trying to let the right people review it and just make sure that it's like it gets its just due. I know that I'm built off of like a grassroots fan base. You know what I'm saying? So it's like at the same time I still sort of felt like there were moments in the album that could have been promoted more to the masses. Like I don't think there's ever been a Chris Brown record that like Chris Brown on the hook and the record's not like really gone for at like radio and things like that. So it's like
these wasn't marketed.
Yeah, like these things
to the mass
were sort of bothering me. These things definitely bothered me, but at the same time, it's like, like I said, I'm really out here with the people, and as long as I could get it out there to y'all, I just felt like, man, I'm gonna get it out there, get the visual out there. Let's keep it going, and that's all we kept doing. Like that's the only way we really marketed the album, just videos and dropping everything. And then y'all dissed me. Y'all was mad because y'all was like, we gotta have the album already. But that's what I had to work with. Because, at the same time, it was like nobody wanted any more mixtape music from Pusha T. It was like you got Fear God, you got Wrath of Cain, you got the guest verses or whatever it was. And it was album time, period. Or at least that's how I felt. Y'all made me feel like that. Y'all had pressure on me so bad.
And it was like your big time, big label solo debut.
Straight up.
Which a lot of people couldn't even, I was hearing complaints that people were trying to find it, and the numbers were way higher than anybody had predicted. And
yeah. Man, you're so funny, man. They told me I was going to sell like 20,000 records. And I was like, well, how's that going to happen?
Right.
Like, I really, seriously. And I was just like, I just had to sort of tune all that out and stop listening. But, this is because the way they gauge it. The way they gauge it at retail, I believe, is sort of like, okay, they look at, where you are on the charts as far as where your record's positioned at and so on and so forth. And, if you know me, then I ain't got no records on the charts. I don't think. Do I?
On all the best album lists of the year.
Well, yeah.
A lot
if
of
we're
that
talking
now,
about the best album list, that's something. But that happens after the
Singles
fact.
of the year,
Yeah,
definitely.
That happens after the fact, though.
Yeah.
I ain't have no records on the charts.
Do you have a different game plan moving forward? I mean, given whatever you were frustrated about with the rollout of this album or things that you want to change, what is the next step?
No. You know what? I'm not going to change. The only thing I'm going to change about what I do is timing. Like this industry is like it's a real tough business to be in. And you're going to learn if you're in it or you want to get in it or when you get in it, you're going to learn that all you can do is control what you can control. So now, from here on out, I'm just going to, strategically, you know what I'm saying, make my records, put out my records, do everything that I can do in a timely fashion and just leave it up to y'all. Straight up. Like I'm not relying on anything else but my fans, my family. That's it.
Do we have a timeline on when this is gonna happen?
No, I mean I don't know when I'm dropping the next one, but I can tell everybody January 2nd, me, Pharrell, and Chad are going in the studio for 20 days.
That is the best news I've heard in a really long time. Wait, Chad the Ghost?
Chad the Ghost. Me, Pharrell, and Chad are going to the studio for 20 days in Miami. And that's it. Like, that's what's going to start off, you know, the King Push album.
Wow. Oh, is that the title?
Title is definitely King Push.
There you go. Great news. That's a great gift for the fans. I think we should also make sure that we get some questions in. Yo, I'm so excited. Right. Pusha T and the Neptunes.
I want to say you're one of the greatest lyricists of all time,
Thank
one of
you,
the dopest MCs. But one thing that's really ill about you is you got amazing breath control. You have amazing ad-libs. So I wanted to know a little bit about the and the woo. You know?
Yo, listen, the yeah really came from like just being in the studio and saying like a disgusting line and just, you know, and I needed a space. I needed space and I was like, yeah. But that's really what it is. And the whole Wu thing, anybody who knows me, man, I was like a real wrestling fan, fanatic. And Ric Flair's the original, the true original shit talker. Like, for real, you know. But, you know, and you know, it's just something that was just something close to me. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I'm trying to do that more, man. Like being a solo artist, you know, not having my brother, there were things that I could count on him for. I could just give y'all like, you know, fresh, braggy car raps all day.
Fashion raps.
Right, fashion raps. I could do things like that. But and leave it up to my brother to give y'all the, like, you know, the perspective, the conscious mentality, the consequential thinking, and so on and so forth. So, but now it's like without him, I gotta take on like a few different roles now. It's tough. So I'm trying to show y'all more about me.
What's up, Pusha T?
Yo, what's up, G?
Very big fan.
Thank you, man.
My name's my name. Best album of the year.
Thank you, sir.
Not hip hop. Best album of the year.
Oh wow, I'll take that too. Thank you.
Hey, my question is, what is your favorite track or verse? Just as a solo artist, what is your favorite track overall? Like, I really did my thing on this. Like, this is my best piece.
Man, you know, my favorite my favorite song on My Name Is My Name is 40 Acres. Yeah, like, you know, I feel like that's something I dug a little bit deeper for. I feel like, you know, I gave a, like, true perspective about just my mentality and how I feel about everything from relationships to... Yeah, my mom was like, so are you trying to... like, the other day, like, I you know, I went home or whatever, and I seen her, and she was like, so I was listening to your album, right?
Uh-oh.
And she was like, so you trying to tell me that you not gonna be no good because, you know, you know, our divorce or whatever. And I was just like, you know, I was like, I had to sort of explain to her, like, really, like, I never thought things like that would affect me at my age. Mm-hmm. And it really does. Like, I never, ever in my life would think that, like, I would care about, you know, my parents' divorce and things like that at the age that I am now. And, you know, I was just telling her, like, you know, I was, in that song, I was really just, yeah, I was blaming her.
Does actually getting it out and talking about it with her, does that help? Does it heal it?
Yeah, really. Like, you know, it doesn't... I don't think it really heals anything because family, you know, when it's not the same, it's just not the same. I'm realizing that as well. Mm-hmm. But you know, it's just different for me because I have never in my life had that type of conversation on record.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to frown upon like all the records like I would hear with like rappers and they'd be like saying like, you know, how they dad won't dare and things like that. And I used to be like, dog, you like 30. What you care for?
Uh-huh.
You know, that used to be my attitude. And then here I come on 40 Acres and it's like, you know, thinking like, damn, is this really the reason why I think like this? Or why, you know, I be going through things in my relationships and so on and so forth.
Wow.
King Pish, what up, boy?
Oh, what's up, brother? How you doing?
I ain't chilling, man. I just wanted to know, like, I've been a hip hop head forever, so I've been following you forever. And when you got with Good, like, I felt like it was the right move.
Okay.
I just feel like, you know what I mean? You know, Ye's real. He's all over the place. So
Right.
I feel like it's on, like, you and Big, like, the Good Fridays, man.
Wow.
The Good Fridays, man. We need them, bro.
You need them back?
We need them, bro. You know what I mean?
You know.
It's Soho. I think Tiana around somewhere. But, yo, we need them, though, man. Honestly speaking, bro. Just let me know what's going on if possible.
Listen, that the funny part about Good Fridays is it's really a lot of Good Fridays records still left. I mean, you know, that was honestly Ye's thing at the moment. Like Good Friday was, when I tell y'all that was the most stressful time. It was like so stressful because you had to have it. Like he had to have it out. And that was just, you know, I think Good Friday, you know, that was part of his Dark Twisted Fantasy, you know, marketing. But, you know, that was a super, super hip-hop album. And that's all it was about, just making records and rapping. And his whole thing was like, nah, I ain't doing a mixtape. I'm gonna just drop these. We just gonna drop these. That's my mixtape.
Did you ever feel frustrated that, oh, you're giving it away? That's something we should keep. Like, was there that type of argument ever happening in the studio?
I'm trying to think, man. That Christian Dior denim flow. That
hurt you to give
that's
away.
That's what hurt. Cause you know a lot of times I would be there, like I might be there first, like cause you know this was happening. Is it called Electric Lady? Mm-hmm. It was happening in New York. So, you know I live in Virginia. So if I come up here, then I really don't have anywhere to go but studio. So I'm gonna probably see or hear everything 9 times out of 10 first. And when I found out that was like the Good Friday beat and record, I was like, man, can we just tuck that away? But of course we couldn't because it's Friday and we all working on the record on Friday. Y'all know this, like, you know, sometimes
waiting.
they would drop in Saturday at noon and things like that. That's, man, stress, brother.
I think everybody's reaction was always like, well, it's Friday still somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
And speaking of the songs that are still in the stash, what is the one that if you could drop, say, today, what's the song that we missed out on? Tell us what we missed.
I believe that there are a few Raekwon verses that you guys missed.
Oh.
I believe so.
With you and Kanye.
No, I know I didn't lay to him. But
produced
they
by
just
Kanye.
yeah, produced by him for sure. And we probably, any given time, like if he pulls it out and be like, yo, let's get on the track or whatever.
You might need to make that
you
call.
Gotta go crazy.
You might need to make that
crazy.
Call, Push. Another question.
There's a lot of stuff, man.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yes. What's going on, Pusha T, man?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Right. Yo, I got a question. So
yes,
I
sir.
know you and your brother from the Bronx, so I'm from the Bronx too.
Okay.
And I know your big influence was Rakim and Big Daddy Kane. So
yep.
What's one of your favorite New York City moments, like whether it was you in the Bronx or coming back here chilling and everything? Like, what's your biggest city moment?
Listen, you know what's so funny? Like, I got an older sister, right? And she used to live in Harlem. Huh? Gun Hill. I lived in Tilden. Yeah. So, but you know, coming back here, like my grandmother she lived in Tilden forever. You know, as she got older, she got sick, and she moved down to Virginia. But I was always in New York, right? But my older sister, lived in Harlem, and man, I remember going to Harlem, right? And at the time, this guy was like King Camacho. And he would like block traffic and be like, "It's macho time, it's macho time." And I was like a kid, like just a child, like looking at this boxer like, oh man, he had like the rat tail and I wanted one, but I ain't have like, you know, the hair to have that. So like, but he was like the coolest person ever to me. And you know what I'm saying? It's just like, I got so many of those just like New York, you know, come up here and you know, being with my cousins, and I was, you know, I'm born here, but I moved to Virginia, so I'm the slow one, of course.
You're the country cousin.
Yeah, I'm the country cousin. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling them Run DMC the best rapper. They like, man, Rakim, what are you talking about? Don't say that in front of none of my friends. Godson, what up? Yes, sir. All right.
Push, what up?
What up, G?
What's going on?
How you doing, man?
Fred the Godson? Is that
Yes,
Fred over
yes,
there?
yes,
Fred
yes.
the Godson?
Yeah. You know, Push my favorite rapper, man.
Oh,
so
man.
Nice.
You know,
That's
gotta support him.
That's coming from somebody who's amazing. What
Good
up,
looking,
brother?
man. Thank you. Yo, what's the next video you gonna shoot off your joint?
Man, I'm shooting Suicide tomorrow.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
In New York?
Yeah. In New York tomorrow.
I'm there. Yo,
Fred the
God
Godson
bless,
just
man.
invited
Thank you,
himself.
brother. All right.
And these are all videos that you pretty much put together, funded, everything
Yeah,
yourself.
I pay for all my videos except Sweet Serenade. So
That's
we
incredible.
gon', you know, fancy. Really?
If you haven't noticed, he's very fancy. Pusha T is very fancy.
You know, we gon', you know, we gonna get in this. What is it? Suicide tomorrow. I'm shooting 40 Acres as well, and 40 Acres and Snitch. Those are the next 3 lineup.
And then we have to get into that new album that you're going to be recording with the Neptunes. I mean, that's an incredible
Both of 'em.
announcement. King Push coming sometime in 2014.
Yeah, for sure.
More goodness from Pusha T coming on this stage very soon.
Let's go.
We learned a lot about him. I actually never knew that you had those New York moments that you were up on Gun Hill Road. And
Oh man.
so I really want to thank all of you guys, true, dedicated, hardcore Pusha T fans.
Listen, man, I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all don't even understand, like, everything that I get, like, I attribute to y'all. I mean, it's nothing else. For real. Seriously. Like, y'all have kept me in this industry. Look at my whole life in the industry. I mean, I come out, platinum record, whatever, grinding. Don't come out for another 4 years. Hell Have No Fury. My favorite album of all time, by the way. But I'm talking about 4 years here and there. We drop to the casket drops, 3 years later. Gaps. Now I go solo, and it's, you know, man, I've had like a real roller coaster ride. And you guys are the only thing that really kept me afloat. Nothing else.
Give it up for yourselves. Much love to Pusha
appreciate
T.
it.
Much love to the Apple Store here in Soho and the entire iTunes
Yeah,
staff.
shout out the Apple Store, man. Who else y'all done this with? Tell
Nobody
me.
like you. Nobody like you.
Really?
I don't know. I do think,
man.
though, that it's incredible that we're going to be able to see this on iTunes this week. So thank you guys for being here. All right?
Love y'all.